Oshkosh Media is government programming on GovTV, community programming on Life TV, and community radio on Oshkosh FM 101.9.
Welcome to the City Manager's Report, a look at city updates and a preview of the next Oshkosh Common Council meeting agenda.
And thanks for joining us for another edition of the City Manager's Report. I'm Andy Radig, and in a moment we'll be joined by Oshkosh City Manager Mark Roloff. As usual, in the first half of today's show, we'll have some municipal news updates, including items from city departments and things happening in Oshkosh. In the second half, we'll highlight some items from the upcoming Tuesday, April 12th, Oshkosh Common Council meeting agenda. And with that, we bring in City Manager Roloff. Mark, thank you for being here today.
Great to be here, Andy.
All right. Well, we have a lot of different topics that we're talking about in today's show. We recently had an election, a spring election that was on April 5th, and our city clerk reports that things went fairly smoothly with that.
There was a lot of new rules that were put down by the state regarding absentee ballots, and I got to thank everybody. Everybody did a really good job. We had very few issues at all because people listened and properly returned their absentee ballots in person or put them in the mail. So that went very well. So we're real pleased with the fact that we were able to do with pretty smoothly through Election Day. Mm-hmm.
And the next election is coming up on August 9th, and that will be a partisan primary.
Right, so this one was just the nonpartisan primary, and for us, City Council, so three of our council members who are currently council members will remain as council members. Council members Lindsay Erickson and Mike Ford and Deputy Mayor Matt Mugrauer will continue. They were all reelected to their at-large seats, so we're going to be looking forward to working with them in the coming year.
Okay, very good. And we are getting into the spring season here, whether the gray skies confirm that or not, but road construction projects are getting started, and East Lincoln is one of those locations.
Yeah, that's one of the first ones out of the gate. So, East Lincoln, east of South Main Street, over by St. John's Church, you can see that we're already starting to start digging things up and get things going there. That's going to be reconstructed from North Main Street all the way over to the railroad track. So this is what we call, a complete comprehensive street. It includes sanitary sewer, water main, storm sewer, storm laterals, and electrical work prior to new concrete pavement going in. And as we've always talked about, it's not just the street, it's all the underlying infrastructure. So we've got some infrastructure there that dates back to late 1800s, early 1900s, so well over 100 years old and much needed for replacement.
Mm-hmm. And then we have another project that's happening over at what we call the Sawdust District. Pioneer Drive is permanently closed, and there'll be some installation of additional stretch of the Oshkosh River Walk.
Right, there's actually two portions of Pioneer Drive. The east-west version, which is really more an extension of 6th Avenue, that's the part that's being taken away. Mm-hmm. And then there's a north-south version that'll continue. So our drone video, we're really using it now, starts over here on South Main Street. And you can see the street is torn up. We are now going to be putting in a Riverwalk there all the way to the north-south portion of Pioneer Drive. So you can see some of the landmarks there in the downtown area that you'll be able to kind of get a point of reference. But we're going to be putting in a beautiful trail that's going to be about 10 to 12 feet wide, but it's going to be about 30 feet in total when you add all the greenery and things like that. So watch this transform over the course of this summer. We're really excited that we're getting close to Pioneer Island, and I think that will also help with the development of the Sawdust District as we move forward with some of those projects.
Sure, and we'll get that drone out there and get some updated video as it progresses and kind of show the progress of the project. Well, also downtown, High Avenue is closed in a portion there, and so that is for another major project with Algoma Boulevard.
Yeah, this is actually the Algoma Boulevard project that we've called it, but there are a lot of utilities that go from the river up to Algoma Boulevard. So High Avenue is undergoing some transformation as we get some of the crossings for storm sewer and that taken care of. So now, for a very short time, Algoma Boulevard will become a two-way street from Osceola over to New York Avenue. So, we did talk about a little bit this at State of the City, but you can kind of see, if you haven't already gone through there, what it looks like. So this is totally different than what everybody's used to, but we are having two-way traffic, at least for the time being out here, and we want people to be aware of the work there.
And the signage makes it very clear that folks have to mind that this is a two-way street at certain points, and so things are marked very clearly. It's helpful to the motorists.
Yeah, but if you're visiting it the first time, that's one of those things that you may get thrown off a little bit. So please be patient, please be on the lookout. And if you're really interested in the whole project or any of our projects, we're going to be putting all of the details about these projects on our city website, but there are email updates about construction you can subscribe to. Certainly check out our website, and if you want to subscribe to get updated on the Lincoln Avenue project or the Algoma Avenue project, you'll get weekly updates about things that are going on. It provides a lot of good updates, especially if you're planning to visit that area and you haven't been there in, say, recent weeks or something like that.
Yeah.
It'll be good to check in.
A lot of detail, right?
Oh, absolutely.
And also our social media pages will keep folks updated on those things as well. And in particular, Go Transit has been updating their social media with a lot of the updates regarding these projects too, and how it affects their transit routes.
So right now, High Avenue is getting impacted. We're working towards Algoma, but what you're going to see in the next phase, it's going to involve the closure of Vine Avenue between High and Algoma. So, if you use that as a cut through, be aware that, for a couple weeks at least, that will be closed. So we slowly make our way back to Algoma, get everything set up, and then we just do all of Algoma and know that the storm sewer pipe and those things that flow from Algoma to other parts of the city, that'll all be taken care of before we get to Algoma.
Okay. Well, and there are a lot of closures going on, and we also have some closures of some bridges coming up, and that's for some annual washing and maintenance that's taking place coming up here in April.
Yeah, the Department of Transportation, Winnebago County, they're their bridges right now, so they go through an annual process. So, I think it's important for everybody to know this. So you may not remember everything I tell you, so certainly take a look on our social media pages for the dates and everything. But Monday, April 11th, Main Street Bridge is going to be closed from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. On Tuesday, April 12th, the Oregon-Jackson Street Bridge will be closed from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. On Wednesday, the Wisconsin Street, Ohio Street Bridge will be closed from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. Again, that's Wednesday, April 13th. And then Thursday, April 14th, the Congress Avenue, Oshkosh Avenue Bridge from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. So all four of those bridges will be dealt with on a daily basis. And of course, that's weather permitting and all sorts of things. So keep an eye out for social media and make sure you're aware of those things. But all four bridges will be impacted at some time over the next week.
And there is some signage posted at those bridges as well, so folks have a heads up from a lot of different angles there, but we'll keep them updated on things if there's any change. Okay, we've all heard a lot about supply chain issues lately, and I know that this is hitting home here at the city a little bit in a lot of different departments.
Oh, it absolutely is. In one day I had two visits from department heads on challenges that they've found, but these are global and national issues that are affecting us, and it all has to do with supply chain and getting things delivered on time. And our economy has gone from a lot of businesses were taking just-in-time delivery. They get it today to work on tomorrow for their manufacturing process. Now it's totally different. So a couple examples that I want to point out just to illustrate this. The fire department, you may recall, ordered a new fire truck earlier this year. The reason we did that was to ensure delivery in 2023. Normally, we were able to order a new fire truck at the beginning of the year, say January. And by October or November, it was rolled into our fire department, ready to go into service. Now, that same fire engine has an 18-month lead time. So in order for us to even get it in its replacement year of 2023, we have to order it right now. And we've done that, so we're expecting delivery. Well, we also have what's called a Quint. It's a very multifaceted fire truck. It has ladders and things like that. That is now at a 22-month lead time.
Oh.
We have one scheduled for replacement in 2024. In order for us to get that going, we need to order sooner rather than later to get it delivered in time. One of the challenges that we're also seeing is that prices are increasing on a regular basis. So we're facing, in the case of a Quint fire truck, a 7% increase by May 1 and perhaps 1 or 2 more increases of a similar size. We could see by the end of the year a 20% increase in the cost of a fire truck. So how can we avoid that? Well, if we order early, we can lock in the price and take advantage of that. So those are things we're going to be talking to council about. Similarly, our public works projects. We're doing phase 5 of Oregon Street this year. And we were informed, even though we just awarded the bid last month, that we will likely not get delivery of the sewer pipe in question until probably September. So, we have these pipes that we use all over the city for a variety of projects. This is an example from CP Street last year. This is green. That I know it's sewer pipe when it's green. So this gives you an idea of what our pipe looks like. This type of pipe, and even bigger and smaller pipes in this, we're not going to get till September. So we know that our projects this year are going to be delayed, and we don't have any recourse for that. So what we're giving some serious thought to is to do some early engineering of our 2023 projects, get the quantities figured out, how many feet of how much size pipe we will need. Order it in advance before we even hire the contractor, before we even know who the contractor might be, and they'll install pipe that we will have already ordered and will get delivered hopefully by this time next spring, so when they start digging, they can start putting pipe in the ground. Otherwise, the contractor, makes no sense for them to even mobilize their crews, because waiting months for sewer pipe just makes no sense whatsoever. It's not the contractor's fault. It is really just part of the whole global issue we're dealing with supply chain. So hopefully we're going to be looking at measures like this, creative ways to get materials for capital projects delivered earlier so we can get them replaced in a timely fashion.
And just try to expedite the process, whatever we can do to try to help that process.
And you're going to hear more of these things. I just gave you 2 examples. We're going to be doing this in the coming weeks because we need to identify where some of these supply chain bottlenecks can occur and how we can avoid them.
Okay. Well, good to know that it's being worked on. All right, another project that is in progress, and it's kind of an exciting one, is over at Lakeshore Park. We had a groundbreaking of a new Four Seasons building.
It was a cold and windy day, Andy. Let me tell you, I had to wear the winter jacket for this groundbreaking. But this is the facility that we talked about over at Lakeshore Park that people will be used year-round. So we did the groundbreaking, and this is the real stuff that you want to see. This is what it's going to look like. I know we've shown it before, but they're so cool to look at. Right along where Lake Butamore meets the Fox River, and it's going to be a gathering place, a place that families can have events. So people who have winter birthdays can have just as much fun as people who have summer birthdays, where they can enjoy the outdoor, even if they're in the warm confines of a four-season room. So we're real excited about that.
And quick reminder, what is the location of this building? Where is it located?
It is right at the end of Pinocchio Street. It's actually where Lakeshore Park and Rainbow Memorial Park come together. So that's kind of the location. And, I just talked about supply chain issues. Let's just cross our fingers. It's expected or planned to be done by October, November. We'll just hope that we can do that, because that would be a wonderful ribbon cutting ceremony there. But we're going to have to wait and see before we can lock down that date. Okay.
Well, we'll play it by ear, but we'll keep everyone updated as the progress continues on that. And that whole groundbreaking ceremony, you just saw a clip of it there, that can actually be viewed on Oshkosh Media Gov TV. And check the Oshkosh Media Gov TV YouTube channel, and you can watch the groundbreaking ceremony there. Okay, we have some other exciting egg sighting events coming up in the city that the Parks Department is having.
Yeah, two of the events that we do at springtime, Breakfast with the Bunny and Exciting Day at the Zoo, are both coming up on Saturday, April 9th. So Breakfast with the Bunny, very few tickets are available, so get a hold of the Parks Department as soon as possible if you are interested in going to that. It's going to be held over at Webster Stanley Middle School this year because of how early it is. So be on the lookout for that. And then Exciting Day at the Zoo, that same day on Saturday, April 9th. Again, that's over at Menominee Park from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Kids can do searching for eggs, games, visiting the animals at the zoo, get a preview of some of the animals. If you haven't seen the new eagle exhibit, for example, another great place to go check out. But all those tickets need to be purchased on the city's website before 3 p.m. on Friday, April 8th. So if this is after that date, it's a little too late, but you can always check with the Parks Department office as well.
Right.
So for the zoo event, there will be tickets available at the gate. They will take walk-ins, so hopefully people will take advantage of that.
And they can call Jenny at the Parks Department for any other details about that. And Jenny's number is 920-232-5319. Or again, check the Parks Department Facebook page. Well, recently we had the Oshkosh State of the City virtual event that premiered on March 28th, Mark. And we encourage residents to view that if they haven't had a chance yet.
Well, obviously, Andy, we're biased on it, but I think it really is a good idea, a good way of talking to people about some of the things we were looking at for the coming year, upcoming projects, initiatives. Have an opportunity to meet our new poet laureate and hear about our employees of the year that we're extremely proud of, and hearing the story about what happened with and how they came about to earn that employee of the year, well deserved, by the way. And then just learn about some of the community partners we've had over the past year who have really helped make a difference in our community. So we're so happy about that. But we're going to be continuing to show it on replays, right, Andy?
That's right. It'll be on Oshkosh Media Gov TV, and also you can view it on the Oshkosh Media the YouTube channel, which you're seeing on the screen right there. And there's more information posted on Facebook about it, and encourage everyone to take a look at it. There's a lot of interesting information, and again, it's a wide variety of community partners that contribute to making Oshkosh a great place, and so it's interesting to hear those stories. So we encourage everybody to check it out.
Yeah, and one of the things we also did at State of the City was unveil the new City of Oshkosh Government Facebook page.
That's right. Good transition. We also have a new City of Oshkosh Facebook page. We've been using the Oshkosh Media page with a lot of city information. We'll continue to do that, but we have a dedicated City of Oshkosh Government Facebook page, and you're seeing it on the screen there. So you can look for information about city departments and current topics. A lot of the things that we're actually talking about on today's show, those pieces of information are posted there. So look for that, and we encourage you to like and follow the new page, and look for City of Oshkosh Government on Facebook. So Mark, I think that's about the time that we have for the first part of the show today. And it's time for us to take a short break. Please stay tuned, and we'll have some highlights from the upcoming Common Council meeting agenda, and we'll be right back.
Holding a phone takes precious attention away from the road. That's why handheld cell phone use is now illegal in Wisconsin work zones, and fines start at $40. Driving deserves your undivided attention. It's about safety for workers and for all motorists. So when you see orange cones, please put down the phone. The Wisconsin DOT urges you to help us achieve 0 deaths on Wisconsin roads.
And welcome back to the City Manager's Report. I'm Andy Radig, along with City Manager Mark Roloff. Let's turn our attention to the agenda items from the upcoming April 12th Oshkosh Common Council meeting. And Mark, it looks like under the consent agenda, there's an item approving an agreement for some urban search and rescue emergency services. And this is with the Oshkosh Fire Department?
Yes, and the state of Wisconsin. We are widely recognized for our search and rescue capabilities. And we actually have an arrangement with the state of Wisconsin where we get some specialized equipment and training for our employees on how to use this equipment. And then not only do we make it available, of course, for ourselves and our residents, but in the event of an emergency, this agreement says that we will deploy our urban search and rescue team out to other areas that don't have this special trained people or equipment, and we'll go out there and bring that over and do whatever rescue is appropriate called for. So there's a handful of communities in the state that have that capability. We are fortunate to be one of them, and we can share that information, that knowledge, and that equipment with other people. So it's a great arrangement between the city and the state of Wisconsin.
Okay, very good. Also under the consent agenda, there's an item, this relates to Bowen Street, and I understand that with this CIP amendment, this might be able to eliminate a lift station?
Right, this is over on Bowen Street there, just north of Murdoch. There used to be, or we're slowly getting rid of, what's called a lift station that then you're relying on electricity and the risk of power outages and things like that. And we try to minimize those types of things. So we've re-engineered the sewage distribution or collection system to eliminate the need for that lift station. So you're going to see some big sewers getting dug up this spring and summer. Again, there's going to be some delay with pipes, we're imagining, but we want to get the bid awarded now so that the contractor is ready to go when the pipe becomes available. But it's going to make it less risky for people in that area because if power is out and something happens with emergency generators, then you run the risk of having failures. This way, this new interceptor sewer pipe will be able to get it to flow a lot easier.
And this relates to our discussion a little bit earlier about those green pipes that we need to try to keep these things purchased when we can.
Absolutely. We have to make sure the supply chain goes. So the quicker we get it ordered, the quicker we award the contract, the quicker the contractor can order those materials.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And then we have an update about the Parks Administration and Operations Building, and so we're doing an amendment here. Is that?
Yeah. Well, we're doing a couple things. We're
okay.
First of all amending our capital improvement program because we don't have sufficient funds based on the bids that came in. The bids that came in were nearly $3 million over budget. We've looked at things we can do to save on those costs, but we do need to amend the capital improvement program to authorize the additional spending. But we know that given the prices that we're probably not going to get better prices by saying reject the bids or waiting or something like that. So this is a rendering of what it's going to look like, and it'll certainly improve the efficiencies. But the bid award is $8.9 million, so it's pretty sizable. But we believe it will provide so many efficiencies that over the long run, this new facility will help us deliver services better to our community and make our parks look better. So that's what we're working on, and we're proud of the work that our folks do to make sure we're doing everything we can to make the parks look beautiful. But this will help make us more efficient.
Mm-hmm. And it's very much needed, I know for sure. Then we have another item coming up under new resolutions relating to some property to alleviate some stormwater issues. And I know that that's a continuing process that we're trying to chip away at as we can.
Yes, this is part of Sawyer Creek, which is one of our many stormwater watersheds, but this is far and away the largest one. So this is where the site is. It's immediately west of Clairville Road. It's between Highway 91 and 20th Avenue, but we're looking at acquiring roughly just short of 80 acres to do yet another stormwater detention pond to temporarily hold water for stormwater management in this area.
Okay. And I know that we have several different detention ponds around the city and around the area. And, sometimes they fill up after a storm, but a lot of times, people notice that, like right here, we're looking at, I believe this is James Road, and it looks fairly empty. Wouldn't we expect to see a little bit more water in this?
Actually not. You're going to see it very full for a very short time. In fact, most of the ponds, when they fill up, they won't be full for more than 24 to 48 hours. The ponds are really intended to take care of peak flow. So what we're trying to do is prevent water from getting down into the city and overturning the banks of Sawyer Creek and flooding residences and businesses. And we know we've seen that in the past. So what this does is this holds back the water at the very top of Sawyer Creek, holds it back long enough for things downstream to drain themselves, and then this pond will drain out. But a lot of people point out, and they can point it out when they can walk over there in the dead of summer and say, see, it's never used, it doesn't work. Well, using that logic, we would never we don't need a bathtub because we only fill it once a day to take a bath. We have to recognize that we are talking about peak flow, and we will use it for a short amount of time, but that short amount of time will make the difference between flooding and not flooding at all. So I think we need to do a better job of communicating the need, but this pond, this additional pond that we're talking about, is to further reduce the risk of peak flow damage downstream. And we're trying to protect our residents throughout the city because we know that from our history, we need to do a better job of managing our stormwater, and this is one way to continue to do that. It's
critical when it's needed, and it's filled at that point, but kind of normal to see it without the water in it.
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, we also, we mentioned the election a little bit earlier, and we have a council organizational meeting coming up on April 19th.
Yeah, just a reminder, we do this at noon. It's somewhat ceremonial for the swearing in, but the council also elects the deputy mayor. And then they talk about any council rules they may want to change for the upcoming year. So that'll be a special meeting that you may, if you tune into GovTV, you might find it at noon on April 19th. So just be aware it's out there, and it's just part of the transition of government to a new term.
Okay. And then also the DEI committee has been working on some new metrics and things for consideration with the city.
Yeah, DEI is our Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee. And when the council created this committee, one of the charges they gave to the committee was to review metrics for diversity, equity, and inclusion, ways, identifying areas of improvement that departments can do to help better deliver services in a more equitable fashion. It makes a lot of sense, and I think it will help us attract people to the community and make our residents feel welcomed, and that's really important. So the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee was reviewing metrics that we prepared, and we're very pleased to report that after a few months of going back and forth with some of the metrics, they've approved the metrics unanimously, I was happy to see. And we're going to report them to council, and now we're going to be putting them on our website to hold ourselves accountable for achieving diversity, equity, and inclusion goals that are really important for us. So real excited to be moving forward with this and appreciate the DEI committee's work on this.
Good to see all this coming into action now.
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, I think that's about all the time that we have today, Mark. Thanks a lot for your insights.
It's always a pleasure, Andy. Thanks.
All right. Well, and thank you for joining us today on the show. Again, that Oshkosh Common Council meeting is coming up at 6 p.m. That's this Tuesday, April 12th at City Hall here at 215 Church Avenue. You can watch it live on GovTV, which is Spectrum Channel 10, UVerse Channel 99, and streaming on YouTube and OshkoshMedia.org. Or you can listen to it on the radio. That's Oshkosh FM 101.9, which is also online and on the TuneIn Radio app for phones and tablets. And remember, you can use your favorite streaming device, including Roku, Amazon Fire TV, Apple TV. Just search for the Oshkosh Media app and you can dial it up. Also, you can also visit our YouTube channel for government meeting archives and the full library of Oshkosh Media programming. So please join us again in 2 weeks for another City Managers Report. Thanks for watching.